Here's the deal. I'm doing the intro to this video after I've actually already finished it, so it's a little bit weird, but for this video, I am choosing my reading based on my local little free library. So I will just kind of roll some of my footage related to that and how I ended up liking the book and what my thoughts are on little free libraries in general. A little bit of a fun fact before we get into things more is that my dad actually knows the guy who invented little free libraries. So I think that that's kind of a fun fact. I also think that they're an amazing community resource. I don't know, I really like the concept. I think that it's a great way to have a little bit more community around reading and to make reading even more accessible, especially if maybe you're a kid or a preteen or even an adult and you're not super close to a proper library. It can be a really fun way to find new books and things like that. But I'm gonna stop talking and just get into some of the footage I have from letting a little free library pick my reading. An update on, I almost dropped it. An update on my little free library read that I got. This is called Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel García Màrquez. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, help me out. Yeah, I'm already about halfway through because this is just like a short little novella and it's honestly really good. I'm probably gonna finish it all today. It's about this guy named Santiago Nassar, so far at least, and everybody in his little town knows that he's gonna die on this one day, and he is killed on this one day, and then it kind of goes to the events leading up to it, and I think it's a little bit of like a mystery as to like, you know, play with the book. And I think it's like a little bit of a mystery as to exactly what happened or what went down. I don't know what the rest of the book is going to be like, but it basically starts off with him on the morning of his death when the bishop is coming to town, and then it kind of backtracks the events leading up to that and why these people, I think we know who killed him. It's like these brothers, and their younger sister was returned the day of or the day after her wedding by her husband because she wasn't pure enough or whatever. And her brothers, and I guess the guy that she maybe was with was Santiago Nassar. So her brothers just are like, oh, let's kill him, which feels like a little bit of an overreaction, but that's kind of where we're at so far. So we're figuring out exactly what else happened, but that's where we're at in the story so far. I really, really like it. Not only does it have an interesting format where it's kind of going back in time and like laying the groundwork for exactly what happened, it's also super, super descriptive. And I have heard of this author before. He's pretty well known, I think, but I've never read anything by him, and I definitely would read more by him, just judging by this book so far, because just the writing alone is so descriptive. It really paints a picture. It transports you there. It's very, very good writing. I don't know how else to say it. It just really creates like a scene in your mind, and I'm excited to read the rest of it. So I'll kind of give an update on this. I'm hoping to get another book from the Little Free Library as well. So we'll see what else they have to offer, but so far I'm very happy with its offerings. You're so interested in that, yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just putting my sneakers on to take the dog for a walk, but I just finished Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel García Màrquez. I'm not sure if it's Gabriel, I don't know how to say it exactly, but it was it was so good. It was really, really good. What I really liked about it was not only how descriptive it was, but the format itself, kind of being told from the point of view of somebody who was from this town and returned, and it was like everything was uncovered as you went along, sort of through this type of investigation, I guess. And so I really liked how the story unfolded, and I felt that that made it that much more effective. It also kind of reminds me a little bit, not in content and not in style necessarily, but it does remind me a tiny bit of the book Beartown by Friedrich Beckmann. And it reminds me of that just because it kind of shows how an event like this can have such a ripple effect, especially in such a small and tight-knit community. So I really, really liked that because it goes through and the narrator talks about all these different people who it affects and how it affects them, including the two brothers who actually killed Santiago. But it really goes through everybody who it affects in a big way or a small way, and I really like that, how it just goes to show that, like I said, that kind of ripple effect, especially in a small community, but also just in general, that one small thing, we often have those thoughts, like if I just did this one thing differently. And in this case, a lot of people are having that in regards to Santiago's death. It's, if I just did this one thing differently, would he be alive? Would things have turned out differently? And I just loved this book. Honestly, like 10 out of 10. I definitely finished it in like not quite a day, but basically a day. I read most of it yesterday, and then I just finished barely like the last 20 pages or something today. So I read it pretty quickly. It was a really easy read. Like I said, it was super descriptive, so it was very easy to like picture the scenes in my mind. But I just would definitely recommend it. I feel like this is my first step in the kind of little free library offerings experiment, and it's probably a book I never would have picked up on my own, but I absolutely loved it. So honestly, I would just consider this like such a success. I guess that's sort of the whole point of this, is I wanted to like force myself a little bit, not force myself, but encourage myself to pick books that I might not normally read, and I feel like there's no better way to do that than to go somewhere where there's only certain books available and you just kind of go with it. And honestly, this is just better than I could have imagined, and I definitely would not have picked it up on my own. Pretty satisfied customer over here. I'm actually probably only going to read this book from the little library for this particular video. I would definitely consider utilizing little free libraries more in the future and picking books that I might not normally choose. So I consider this, yeah, just a really big success. That is probably going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.